the fragmentation or the discrepancies that are surrounding the opposition political parties is what is causing the political parties not to unite. But I think we can do better than where we are as it stands.
Okay, talking about doing better as it stands, I would love to also pose this question. Why are we at this stage? How did we arrive at a stage where there is a fragmentation in the opposition when we are looking at that to be a very, very key component in relation to governance?
All right, so why have we arrived to this point where we are today? It's because of personal ambitions. It's because of leaders have not accepted to bury their egos and also unite with others and advance the national interest. And I think that's where the problem is coming from. Because if we are to unite and also save the Zambian people, we must forget about personal interest and advance the national interest first. And I think all these fragmentations and discrepancies that are happening around the opposition political parties or politicians, so to say, would be a thing of the past. But because of personal ambitions, I think that's the reason why we've gotten to where we are today.
Having gotten to where we are and you giving the reason behind that or attributing that to people prioritizing their personal ambitions or personal interests over the interest of the well-being of the nation as a whole, what danger then does this pose to a nation like Zambia that is a democratic nation? Then we see that. What danger does it pose?
All right. So first thing first, when you look at politics, or let me say governance in its entire form, we must understand first clearly that governance means governance itself means that we, the people that intend to, occupy public offices, must save the Zambian people and also advance national interest. So if we advance our personal ambitions and then we forget about the national interest, then the danger that will be there is that the country cannot develop. That's number one. The country will simply be distorted, so to say, and it will be in an awkward position to a point that it wouldn't be a safe environment for all, because with what we are seeing currently is that for politicians to advance their personal interests, you realize that they are capable of doing anything just to keep their stay in power. That will result into fighting as a nation, even civil wars. We have seen in some countries where people have not prioritized national interest. It's each one for himself and God for us all. And the ending result is that there has been confusion in a country, people fighting here and there, and there's no unit at all. So that's the danger if we advance personal ambitions instead of advancing the national interest.
You are a politician. Let's get to quote this, because we must embrace peace. We are a democratic country, and you being a politician, what then is your message to your fellow politicians who have prioritized personal interests or personal ambitions over national interests?
All right, so the message is very clear. The reason why politicians are there is to simply save their people. They are there to speak on behalf of the Zambian people. And the Zambians have called on all political parties to come together, to unite for the purpose of saving this country. So if we can be so adamant with our position as that I want to be independent, I just want to contest elections on my own, then it means your credibility is questionable, because Zambians have called for a unit of purpose and we have no option but to listen to what Zambians have said. So your credibility will be questioned. Your integrity also to advance national interest will be questioned. So as a politician, I think the message that I would pose, or the message that I would deliver to my fellow politicians out there, is that we must bury our egos. Let's look at the national interest and what Zambians have called for. Zambians have called us to unite. And if Zambians are not there, I don't think we can also be there. Because the reason why we are there, the reason why we exist is because we are representing the people of Zambia.
Okay. Talking about representing the people of Zambia, this year is 2026. It is a very crucial year, very historical, which is an election year. What steps should the opposition take in relation to making sure that the people of Zambia are represented adequately and effectively? Because we are looking at just in a very few months from now, we'll be heading, or Zambians will be heading to the polls to select leaders at all levels because it's a general election. What steps then must be taken by the opposition to make sure that unity is attained?
All right, so there have been several steps already that are underway, and I'm sure you've heard that time to time there are these alliances that have been formed here and there, or trying to come up together as opposition so that we can save the Zambian people. But then it's good that today we are now talking about a few months before the general election, and we have seen that the People's Pact has been formally launched, and they have chosen a flag bearer. That's one of the steps that the opposition political leaders are doing. So behind this, you would see that it's not only political parties that are involved in it. You would see that there are civil society organization, church organization, also different people that have come on board, stakeholders also, trying to unite every opposition together so that we can advance national interests. So ahead of 2026, the Zambian people are guaranteed that the People's Pact has unveiled itself and it's readily available to redeem this country.
Okay, talking about alliances being formed, how sure are we that we're not going to see the People's Pact just going the same route that these alliances that have risen before have taken?
All right, so the good part is that the People's Pact is not just it's not just a movement that has started today, or maybe it started yesterday or few months before election. This is something that our leaders, our top leaders from different organizations, different political parties, different civil society organizations have been discussing, and then they have been having several meetings in order to see how best they can come up with this movement so that we work together as opposition. And I believe, trust me, that this is not something that was easy to come about, but it's something that took a lot of efforts. And I don't believe that it's something that cannot stand the test of time, because a lot has been done, and a lot of considerations were put in place to ensure that the People's Pact is finally launched and the flag bearer is chosen.
Okay, well, to you, the viewers, if you're just tuning in, you're watching the Lunchtime Chat with me, Andrew Chandazulu, and this is a program that is actually brought to you by KBN Television. It is usually anchored on national or current affairs, and it is also a program that gets to update you on a lot of governance issues. It gets to update you on a lot of things that you really deserve to know. It comes every other Monday to Friday, that is from 13 hours to 14 hours. The caption says it all. Today's discussion is centered on opposition unity. Is opposition unity attainable in Zambia? That is what we are discussing, and with me in studio is Mr. Bartholomew Phiri as we get to navigate together and proceed. The number that is showing on your screen, the lines are officially open. You can call that number or text, even just WhatsApp on that same number, and then we're going to definitely be on the same page. You are going to just air in your views or get to air your opinions on the topic at hand. Well, coming back to you, Mr. Phiri, you have rightly put it bluntly clear in relation to what is supposed to be done in relation to the opposition uniting. I would also love to ask this question. How ready is the Socialist Party for the 2026 polls?
All right, thank you. So the Socialist Party has always been ready. We've been on the ground, and we've tried our level best within ourselves, within our small means, to mobilize the people and to garner up support in preparation for the 2026 general election. That's why you've seen us that we haven't been so adamant with the position of standing independent. Instead, we have also engaged a lot of stakeholders and different political parties and civil society organizations, like I mentioned, so that at least we can come together, because the Socialist Party believes in collective leadership. We do not believe in a single genius that is would deliver this country. We believe in collective leadership. We believe that all people must be involved when it comes to the governance of this country. So the Socialist Party is very much ready. Trust me, we are very much ready with people on the ground, and we have the full support from the people of Zambia.
Okay, let's accommodate our first caller. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. You're live on Lunchtime Chat.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Who do I have on the line?
This is Lawrence calling from Mundola, Copper Belt.
Your name again?
Lawrence calling from Mundola.
Mr. Lawrence, you can go ahead, please.
Yes, coming to your question, that is attainable. It's very attainable. Chagawatu are ruling part of Yamu on opposition political parties. Well, they feel uncomfortable whenever they see these opposition political parties progressing. They always become uncomfortable, and the progression of political parties becomes irritative to the ruling party, which is very unfortunate.
Okay.
As far as I know, the democracy of the country depends on how you are governed by those that are having the instruments of power. Now, if you are being disadvantaged in so many ways, like not having basic needs, failing to provide what they did promise the people of Zambia during the campaigns, that has become now very unfortunate, and which is not supposed to be accepted. That's why it's imperative and very important this time around to make sure that the leaders that we elect are being reflected upon, and find out exactly what type of leaders want to give the instrument of power.
Okay.
Not come to us and start lying like what used to happen, like what happened prior to 2021 general elections. They came with sweet promises like reducing the minimum to 50 kwacha, bag of fertilizer to 250 kwacha, reducing fuel to 12 kwacha, reducing dollar to 10 kwacha.
Okay, as you conclude, sir.
Thank you very much for your comrades.
Well, thank you very much for coming through. Well, that was Mr. Lawrence from the Copper Belt, but you can equally do the same number that is showing on your screen. You can come through on that very number. We have a caller on the line. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. You're live on KBN TV.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Who do we have on the line? Okay, so just as the disclaimer is telling you there, so when you call, make sure that you turn down the volume from your TV totally down. You turn it totally down so that we don't get that distortion, or we don't get that feedback, so that we can just have a conversation phone on phone, and like wanting to hear yourself on the TV, that will not work. Like I always say, technology will not allow us to have a conversation like that. Dial the number that is showing on your screen, then you are going to be live, and make sure that you just communicate with us via the phone, not including the TV. You can alternatively send a text message to that very number, or you can send us a WhatsApp message. We have a caller on the line. Okay, sorry, lost that one. Okay, let me just check if at all we have some messages in the inbox, because I can already see some. Okay, there's this one that reads, good afternoon, lunchtime chat crew, Banda Kings, Lukulu, land of plenty. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Banda. We have another caller on the line. Hi, caller, good afternoon. Hello?
Yes, my name is Robson.
Mr. Robson, please reduce the volume from your TV.
Okay.
Takuri wafa kutimwalanda.
Okay. Upon the monoparty opposition unity, and any so tunga sana kwa opposition kutiwa ikatana. I think this one like PF, there is Charinga there, conviction, and then the triumph of one of them party different come PF. and then muleba kati bindi na ruling party na eno mobile na bena kati beresa nani kanena bena balingisha mu bachabingo ko bati bapanga kiro ngana chona ikefi oloma marosha kiro ngana tafu kutali why can't you why can I go in a conference pastor president talk about uingeza for 2026 generation but August.
Okay. Alright, Totera Mkwai. And of course, you can equally do the same and keep in mind that all the opinions and views that are aired on this particular platform do not in any way represent the views of the station. Rather, they are the views of the callers who are calling in. The number that is showing on your screen and the title there is Opposition Unity Attainable in Zambia. Having laid the best, Mr. Phiri, what would be your reaction to the 2 phone calls that we have received?
Right, so when you look at the 2 phone calls so far that we have received, they are talking about unity of purpose still.
Okay.
And one of the callers has talked about the ruling party, which is the UPND, having a hand in the fragmentations or the confusion that
But we still treat that as hearsay because none of you, the opposition, has come to the front and then provided evidence or reported to the Anti-Corruption Commission.
All right. So I'm very much sure that even the callers, as they are making those submissions, it's because of what they heard. Because Government Chief Spokesperson Honorable Cornelius Muitwa is on record to have admitted that he's one of the individuals that are happy with the confusion or engineering the confusion that is happening in
if I can recall very well, he said that the ruling party is benefiting from the fragmentation in the opposition, so not that it was engineering.
So when you listen to his submission, he said, I'm one of those individuals. Okay?
Who are doing what?
Who are doing what? Who are happy with what is happening. So you cannot just be happy if at all you are not part and parcel of those confusions.
Come on, Mr.
That's
Phiri.
true.
Mr. Phiri.
Look,
so you can only be happy with something provided
listen,
you are one of the engineers.
That is working to their benefit. And when you look at the previous caller who just talked about the likes of Chavinga and all that, where Chavinga at some point said they are in an alliance with the UPND and all that, definitely that tells you don't need to hear it from the horse's mouth. Sometimes you are able to analyze situations and get to conclude that this is what is happening. So that's why I'm saying the callers are now mentioning that, meaning that there's those high suspicions that automatically what Honorable Cornelius Muitwa said from his own mouth, saying is one of the individuals, meaning that he confirms to what people are suspecting, because that's why we always advise that leaders must be very careful with what they say.
Okay.
You don't think that when you speak and then it will end there. There are people out there that can analyze whatever you are saying. There are people out there that can analyze eventualities on how they are happening, and they can get to conclude that this is what is happening. So the callers are advising, because look, even the president himself, President Hakainde Hichilema, at some point he said, I have planted people out there to monitor what is happening within the opposition. What is the interest of the president in knowing what is happening in the opposition? The interest of the president is to serve the Zambian people. Whatever is happening in the opposition knows fully well what they're supposed to do. Okay. Theirs is to provide checks and balances and hold the government of the day accountable, and also help to deliver the message that the Zambian people, those people that cannot speak for themselves. So that's what the opposition are doing. So what would be your main interest in planting people out there to see what the opposition are doing? So all these, when you try to sit down and analyze, definitely you cannot fail to be tempted to think that even the UPND anyway are part of it, because they say there's no smoke without fire.
And yet there's no evidence. Well, to you, the dear viewers, you can equally do the same. You can get to give us your opinion on the issue at hand, where we're looking at the opposition unity. Is opposition unity attainable in Zambia? That is the main question. Having laid the base, I would want you to just be quick and straight to the point. Do you think it is attainable that the opposition is going to unite ahead of the 2026 elections?
All right. So, for the opposition to unite, yes, that is attainable. And this is not the first time that the opposition can unite. If you can remember 1991 general elections, the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, MMD, was not a single political party before it was registered into a political party. It was a combination of pressure groups, civil society organization, other stakeholders, political parties, okay? And
unions.
Yes, unions also, students' unions. So it was a collision that came about through all these different entities. Okay,
just hold your thoughts as we get to accommodate this call. Hi, caller, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. You're live on KBN TV.
I'm going. My name is Webster. Yamukwai ukunanda kachatu kwati wacharinga lini running party kutia ingira kwa because fyonse fyo balanda wa justice tukabataka create ufyo baleranda fyonse ufyo baleranda ama MP ama ruling party fyonse and then if you seven la bale vota kuna ba okay now stemo feasible but the more ufyo baleranda cyaranga uyu muntu ari kuri side yaba uyu muntu ari kuri side yaba ari support for the seven.
Okay.
Mama. So it's a check along what wacharinga kutiba abomba na babene abantu maybe get babombe na HH ni kutiba bomba na MP wa ruling party.
Okay. You machanda dimo bana nishina.
Super go ukusta organize ukuikatana ama opposition because ila party wasa bafulunganya nomba abapeni. Mama.
Okay.
So ndatwa bila sana PF ya bwela nishwara nanga naonza na opposition ayonse oto akwata mchalo cha Zambia na bena bala ba unity because zitabakwata omwenzo because abantu bale mwana kuli bonse mu opposition ukumuna number what mu PF wa HTF ile monekana maka what more ifwe ifo bana what bana ngo kwata omwenzo which means we don't opposition the government opposition the government ruling party ukubomba na opposition yabalanga namanga takwata kwa bawa opposition itwalai karashani bana bomba shani ba ruling party.
All right. Machanda dimo bana nishina.
Barabson.
Oh, Barabson. So I just have one question. So is it bushe tachavecha suminishwa ba opposition kubomba no buteko bulipo?
Zaibeta suminisha mushire isuma.
Okay, so mean that if so tafiri mushire isuma ka?
Because kaizire chumfulunga kwabati chikwasa bempa sasa kwabati nakuza nitafilo understanding.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. Twatotera mkwai. Okay. Twatotera mkwai Barabson. All right, thank you very much. Yes, comrade, before we received that call, you were raising a point in relation to the opposition unity, and you were citing the 1991 movement. Just before that, let's accommodate this call. Hi, caller, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Too bad, lost that one. You can go ahead, please.
All right, so like I was saying, there was the movement there, which is the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy. Like I said, it was a collision of different entities, political parties, civil society organizations, student unions, etc. So there were a lot. And then later on, it was registered into a political party. So the common goal there was that they needed to save the Zambian people and reintroduce the multi-party democracy that Zambians were calling for. So the demand came from the Zambian people. Even today, where we are seated here, the demand has come from the Zambian people. I remember my president, Dr. Freddie Membe, appeared on Diamond TV and also Prime TV some years back, where the Zambians themselves, the callers, were calling in to say, can you unite with other political parties, work together with them? Okay, so he listened to what they were saying, and he said, time will come that I will engage with all these people. And after the Congress guided that we should work with all potential political parties and all potential leaders. And this is exactly what we have done. So in responding to the question, is the opposition unity attainable in Zambia? Yes, it is. It is very much attainable because we have started already doing that and we are in it already. Because from the time that Zambians were calling for the unity of purpose, we responded. That's why you saw the SP now working with the Tonse, working with the UKA, and all these other political parties. There have been some, some press briefings, a combination of different political leaders working together, so that we show to the Zambian people that we are very much committed and ready to work with all potential leaders in the country. So the opposition unity in Zambia is very much attainable, and we can attain that.
Okay, let's accommodate this call. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Hi, good afternoon.
Again, this is Lawrence.
Mr. Lawrence, yes, please.
Yes, I wanted to make a clarification of what you are saying, that the Independent government doesn't have a hand in the confusion of the Patriot Front. If you know very well, the moment that Sham Convention was being conducted, Chalinga himself appeared before that convention for other participants of the same Sham Convention that actually I'm from the house. The president has need to check on what is happening here. That's not evidence that the government has a hand. Secondly, if you recall what happened on the holiday, public holiday, which is an independence day celebration, and they had a visiting state who came to officiate the 24th of October in 2023. Government, the TV station, which is there in DC, shifted from State House and focused on the same Sham PF convention, which is very unfortunate. And those are part of the evidence actually I wanted to tell you. And even the Resource Society, that lady, the of society, that is the chief of was fired. She refused to send the name of the officers of female. She was fired from the Resource Society. Which other evidence do you want apart from that the EPND government has a hand in this confusion, which is very unfortunate. We are having a government which is supposed to be guided in this country. Those are illegalities. The changing of the parents, those are illegalities actually.
Okay.
We don't need that. We need to have a government that respects the rule of law, a government that do not support the illegalities. Thank you very much. Well.
All right, thank you very much for coming through. Of course, you can equally do the same. The number that is actually showing on your screen is the number that gets you through right here on KBN TV. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon. Thank you. Just kindly speak up. We can barely get you.
Yes, please. I'm speaking up. I don't know, maybe the speaker is the one which is not okay.
Okay, yeah, you can. We can now get you clearly, a little bit more clear.
Contribute to the topic.
What's your name again?
My name is Godwin from Maninga.
Okay, yes, Mr. Godwin.
Yes, please. Where it says is the opposition unit attainable in Zambia. Unit is attainable. G is attainable. But the problem is we have that spirit of segregating others regionally. We just want to be in one group of people that are from the same region. I cannot mention. That's why you can see that the battle which is in PFO. They don't want this man in Lulinda. What they want is Lulinda to move out so that a group of people from a certain region are there. That is the truth I'm saying. And if we can do away with that type of segregation, Zambia will be. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda united this nation with other people. We live one. A person from Northwestern can work in Eastern Province and settle there. A person from Western Province can be in Western Province and settle there. That's why I've got people like Mirenda Nyambe, Mulenga, something like that.
Okay.
So the other thing is the lies that these opposition parties have, the lies that are created condemning the ruling, those are the things that are killing them. So you cannot make a plan without a reason. And the weapon that we are using, that is the weapon the other people will also use to destroy them. So let us try to do the politics of reality, the politics that we can should see sense in that politics. Then unity will be in the country. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so very much for coming through. You can usually do the same, but as you call, make sure that you get to be civil. Do not promote disunity in the country. Let us not propagate hate speech. Let's not character assassinate. And of course, let's also not promote regionalism. So because we are one Zambia, one nation. The number that is actually showing on your screen is the number that gets you here. Is opposition unity attainable in Zambia? A caller on the line. Hi, caller. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Thomas from Phiri.
Yes, Mr. Thomas, you can go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Thomas.
Please, Weshenko volume ku TV. Okay, so this is what we are saying. Ngamwatu my phone. Make sure that volume ku TV mwafumia kofe totally. Like I always say, technology mwantatsuminishe kwa ati tubomfya ma gadgets yatatu. A TV, your phone, and my phone here. So let's just use phone on phone. We have the conversation, then you can go back and continue watching over the TV. The number that is appearing on your screen is the number that gets you here. Mr. Phiri, talking about opposition unity being attainable in Zambia. One other thing that is coming out prominent is the fact that we have seen members of the governing UPND saying that there is no opposition in Zambia. And furthermore, they are saying that there's no opposition in Zambia because they are accusing you as the opposition to say you are not giving alternative ideas to the ruling party. How would you react to that?
That is laughable anyway.
Why?
Because if you say there's no opposition in Zambia, then you are simply saying you are yourselves as a ruling party in this country. And you can't say all Zambians are to the side of the UPND. The biggest opposition that Zambia has is the citizens themselves. Citizens are the biggest opposition. And let the UPND continue believing what they believe in to say there is no opposition in Zambia. And definitely they will be taught a lesson and they will realize that really Zambia has opposition. Coming to the issue of accusing the opposition that they are not offering solutions, you know, the UPND government, anyway, I'm sorry to say this, they have been known for being liars and they have been lying. And they have the best party when it comes to rhetorics. That's why I can even confidently say if the opposition takes over in this year 2026 on the 13th of August, I would be one person who would advise President Dr. Fred Membe to include President Hakainde Hichilema in his cabinet as a minister of rhetorics and public discourse, because he's very professional in that. He uses rhetorics most of the times. He will appear on media and use persuasive language.
Let's get to be objective.
Yeah.
Those are very serious allegations. When you say that the president has been riding or peddling or riding on rhetoric, let's give us maybe cite those things that you are judging him based on that.
All right. He went to Choma. What did he say? He said the people of Southern Province were being beaten. That statement did not stand well with the people of Zambia. It would have been better if he had said members of the UPND were being beaten. I would agree with that statement.
Okay.
So, in my view, that was a rhetoric statement because as a president, you speak unity. Okay? If you say people from Choma were being beaten,
okay.
you
So
are singling out.
okay, let's accommodate this call, please. Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, don't know the reason why. Okay, yeah. So can you maybe cite another aspect that you are judging the president on? Because I don't want us to go that route.
All right.
Because that topic is actually very sensitive
Sure.
and very controversial. So I wouldn't want us to go that route.
All right. So the other thing is, the president was now talking about, no, they hate me. Okay? They hate me because of who I am. I don't think we should go that route. As a nation, when a president is
But how
voted
rhetoric
in,
is it when someone
look, that
complains
was
at you?
a persuasive statement, so that people should think that why the opposition and the others, including citizens of this country, are not in support of whatever is being presented on the table is because the man presenting that is not loved.
Okay.
So for me, automatically, that does not stand well.
Still talking about the opposition being called, or the opposition being looked down upon. Members of the UPND are on the other side saying that the reason why the opposition is seemingly fragmented is because the UPND have done so much for the nation that the opposition doesn't have where to talk from.
All right. So claiming that the UPND have done so much to this nation, I think development is not just spoken. Development should be seen. Zambians themselves are seeing what the UPND have done.
You have not seen anything?
If you say, what has the UPND done? These things must be visible. You are asking me whether I have seen what they have done. The UPND, if there's something that is so visible that we can point at, which they have done, is to praise themselves about the CDF issues. But now, look at, I've been talking about these things. Look at how much CDF monies that they are giving to the Zambian people. And let's now compare with the projects or maybe the developments that they have brought. There's nothing tangible apart from these small little things. That's why you find them talking about increment of CDF. You hear them talking about civil society recruitment. But there's a question also that I saw on media where someone was asking to say, if you are saying that the UPND have done something, can you tell us what they have done? And I know they have got a lot of members on media that can support the UPND. Why is it that they were failing to bring out what they have done? We've asked them, what is it? Show us what you have done. They are failing to do that. The only thing they will tell you is about CDF. Everything is pointing at CDF.
So yesterday, where you are seated, was seated the media director for the UPND in the name of Max Smue. And I'm just looking at a post that he made yesterday that was at 11:33 on his page. Let me just go through it. It reads, did you know that the UPND government has built 115 mini hospitals, 33 health centers, and 131 health posts across the country between 2021 and 2025? How would you react to that? Is that in line with CDF?
Now listen, if they are saying that they have built 115 mini hospitals, 33 health centers, and 133 health posts across the country between 2021 to 2025.
Exactly.
What I know about the UPND is that they will never waste a minute to expose their achievements. The question is, again, coming back to the same media director of the UPND, Maximo, is that have they shown the Zambian people these projects? Where are they? Where are they, these projects? Because he was supposed to indicate where they are. And Zambians must see them. We are not going to argue with that. But just believing in political rhetorics, just speaking for the sake of speaking, we are not going to believe that. Look, I always give them an example of the Patriotic Front. They will tell you that they constructed roads and they'll point at the same roads. Okay? So, that's why I've said that when you have achieved or you have delivered to the Zambian people, there's no need to tell us what you have delivered. Our eyes must see what you've delivered. What is it that we can see? I can cite a lot of constituencies, for instance, unless they tell me that maybe this is happening in a different Zambia that we don't know. But if they are talking about the current Zambia where we are, UPND cannot waste a minute to expose what they have done. Their achievement must be visible everywhere. We have seen even them showing us boreholes, dry boreholes that they have commissioned, because today those boreholes are dry.
Okay.
Okay? They have shown us those boreholes. What of such huge achievement? Are you telling me that they can waste a minute or without exposing what they have done?
Okay. Let's get to the inbox, because very soon we'll be wrapping it up. There's a message here that reads, it's attainable in future, but at the moment, with this kind of opposition leaders we have, no, it's not, because they are all trying to save their personal interests. They all want to be president due to their selfishness. Clive from Lusaka. Okay, before you react to that, we have a caller on the line. Hi, caller. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, thank you. Just kindly speak up. Turenda na manani kwesa mletu mina.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, thank you.
Yes, I wanted to...
Please drop the volume on your TV set.
saying this is soccer.
Your name again? Okay, you can go ahead with your contribution, please.
I was trying to support the man who is there on the...
Okay.
I'm saying I'm the man who is on the sharing the podium. When it comes to development, they could have shown us. Don't you remember when they went to officiate that toilet in Kwacha? If they can officiate such a small toilet, what can stop them from showing a bigger one? So it's right to say, if there is something to have done, people can see. They will feel for themselves. Like what Dangote told our leader said, you don't need to talk. If you have done any work, the words will speak for themselves. It's not necessarily that you should be pointing. No, the words will point at themselves.
Okay.
Beyond the opposition, Mr. Moderate, I seem to not to allow the money to express himself when he talked about psychology. Why should you do that? We should talk about it. If we don't talk about it, then no one is going to know that it might not happen. This statement which we mentioned from a very decisive, and it should be talked about. If there is any more somebody in failed now, or just mentioning that they are an illegal police station. So, where is the justice? We should be talking about certain things, not to say these are sensitive. No, they should be talked about.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming through. Very, very important issues that he has raised there. But again, you know, this is a public space. So when we say that we don't want to go a certain trajectory, because we're dealing with an audience that is heterogeneous. Yeah. So that is basically the reason as to why I had to say that. In a minute, Mr. Phiri, before we get to sum it all up, we looked at a message here that is saying that in the future, this should be Mr. Clive. He's saying that in future, maybe opposition unity is attainable, but with the current crop of leaders that we have in opposition, it is not. How would you react to that? Under a minute, please.
I'm glad he's saying in the future, because 2 minutes from now is the future. And we have got the People's Pact now. Okay? We have the People's Pact. He has talked about everyone wants to be president. In the People's Pact, different political parties that have come in. Okay? They have all dropped their egos and they have chosen a flag bearer. Okay. Meaning that that's a demonstration. So let's not just think that because there's confusion in the PF and in the Tonse Alliance, then the opposition cannot unite. No, that's very wrong. That's why I was saying we've had this. And let me also be quick to mention that I was giving an example of MMD in 1991, and I said that that was a movement that was brought on board with different entities in it. But not all came on board. Others disagreed with the MMD. For instance, like the National Democratic Alliance and also Democratic Party. The two political parties did not join the movement. They were independent. They went on their own, and they did participate in the general election. But eventually, the movement, MMD, emerged victorious. So let him continue believing that in the future, I don't know, according to him, maybe future is after 5 years or 10 years or 50 years. But for me, I believe that the future, even a minute from now, a second from now, is the future. Because none of us can answer on behalf of future, and none of us knows what will happen maybe 2-3 days before. So the good part is that the People's Pact has been launched, and the flag bearer by the name of Dr. Fred Membe is there, and the SP as a vehicle that the People's Pact are going to use. So we advise each and everyone to come up together and support, because this has to do with national interest.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, for the sake of those who are just tuning in, we are headed towards the end of today's edition of the Lunchtime Chat. We are looking at a very, very interesting issue. We're looking at opposition unity. Is it attainable in Zambia? And we have been having a discussion from 13 up until the next few minutes, where we'll be wrapping it all up. As we now sum it up, Mr. Phiri, I'll get back to where we started so that the people who are just tuning in now can get your submissions fully. How would you describe the current state of the opposition in Zambia, and why are we at this point as a nation in relation to the opposition?
So like I responded, I said the issue of personal ambition stands to be one of the reasons why there are those fragmentation and also discrepancies within the opposition. And we can do much better than that if we advance the national interest, because everything that we do as opposition has to do with national interest, because at the end of the day, we are servants of the people. We do not occupy public office to serve our interest, but the interest of the Zambian people, meaning that national interest comes first before personal interest. That's the first thing. Then secondly, why are we here? Like I mentioned, personal ambitions, and nobody wants to drop their egos. Everyone wants to be president and all that. But then the callers have also submitted to say there's a hand of the government in these discrepancies that are happening in the opposition, which I would also advise the opposition that they must show their credibility and integrity. We must show our credibility and integrity, because for Zambian people to trust us, for Zambian people to know for sure that we stand firm on our principles and morals, we have to say no. If at all we've seen that this government, what is doing is not right for the Zambian people, I think let's not accept to be used as tools of bringing confusion within the political parties, opposition political parties.
Looking at that, what you've described, Zambia being a democratic nation, what danger does this pose? Moreover, we are in an election year. What danger does this pose to the opposition, as well as the governance of this nation, as well as the effect that it will have towards the general election?
All right, so the dangers that are there is that where we are heading now, it seems like we have taken a route where this country it seems like this country has turned against us because of the kind of leadership that we have. That's one danger that we have. So I talked about people, because of misunderstandings and not believing in what maybe I from the Socialist Party I would believe in. Then I want to think that those that are against the belief or maybe the vision of the Socialist Party are enemies, which is not good. It results into fighting and all that. So in order for us purely to maintain the democratic space in this country, we need to uphold the democratic principles and values. That, trust me, we are not going to go a wrong way, but we are going to maintain what is supposed to be maintained.
How ready then are you as the Socialist Party in relation to welcoming or joining hands with other political parties?
So the Socialist Party has always been ready. At first, we had joined forces with the Tonse Alliance and the UCA. Not even up to now, we are not saying we are not working with those people. That's why you saw in the Chawama by-election, the president was there, and also leaders from the Tonse Alliance, the FDD, and other political parties. So the Socialist Party is very much ready because, like I told you, we believe in collective leadership. We don't believe in a single genius. That's why we have said we want to bring on board church leaders, also traditional leaders, as well as all other potential leaders to work with, because whatever we are doing is about Zambia.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mr. Phiri, to have accorded us this time to have a conversation with you.
Thank you so much, and it's my pleasure to be hosted here once again.
We
I am really
greatly
grateful
appreciate it.
to KBN TV.
Thank you very much. We greatly appreciate that. Well, to you, the viewers, this is where we come to the end of today's edition of the Lunchtime Chat. We were looking at the opposition unity, and in studio